Let's return now to the politics of the day. Joining me is our colleague, a regular on this program, former Labor Minister Graham Richardson. Richo, what did you make of this week? It really, the political debate, Parliament was very tense over the last 24 hours off the back of the opposition leader's comments on Sky News to Peter Stefanovic, where he said there should be a ban, a blanket pause on refugees out of Gaza, Richo.
Yeah, I think as soon as you get that ugly word racism raised, then I think politics starts to turn nasty. It was raised this week. Dutton was accused of racism, which of course he denied. We had ourselves an argument that was quite real, and because when you get accused of racism, it's kind of like being accused of being a child molester, and it's really bad, and people feel it, and really get their hairs on the back of their neck rise up, and they want to fight. And I can understand Dutton being pretty upset by that.
How does it play out politically, do you think? Certainly those in the teal seats feel emboldened to push hard on it, and they don't think it's going to hurt them, the likes of Zali Steggall and co.
No, I think they're probably right. I don't think in the seats that they represent it's likely to do them much harm. So as far as they're concerned, wacko, away we go.
What about the government's response in terms of the security checks? They need to be thorough on that and to take those questions seriously, not the same sort of scope for them to respond the way, say, the Greens or the Teals do. This is the Labor government. They've got to make sure that they're also responding seriously to the security questions raised.
Yes, they do, but it's very difficult in this area because, as you'd be aware, many of the people from these regions simply don't have much in the way of identification. It's very hard to say who's who in the zoo because the records are not kept very well in some places, and of course with all the wars that have been around that region, a lot of records have been destroyed. There's no record at all of people's existence or where they came from or who they are, and that makes life very difficult for governments like ours trying to process people coming into the country.
You've been looking at and watching the Trump-Harris contest very closely, like me and the rest of us. What do you think about where it sits at the moment? Harris ahead now in a few of those battleground states, but there is a long way to go, a couple of months.
Yeah, I think Harris has got a nose in front, and I think she's campaigning pretty well. She's raised an awful lot of money, which in America counts, I think, more than it does here, thankfully. But she's raised an incredible amount of money. So I'd say that you've got to put Harris as favourite at the moment. I wouldn't say a red-hot favourite. She's not at Ajax odds, but she is, I think, pretty much entitled to favouritism.
Have you seen anything like this? It's been the most extraordinary couple of months, or even just 4 weeks since Biden stepping down and the attempted assassination and so on, but now flipped on its head with the new candidate and vice presidential running mate.
Yeah, the whole thing has been amazing to watch because it goes up and down so much. But I think wherever Donald Trump's involved, you'll have volatility. He's an amazing character, whether you like him or you hate him. He's quite extraordinary. And his capacity, when the crunch comes, to generate support surprises me every time. I think the bloke's a dud. But obviously, there are a lot of Americans who have a very different view to mine.
He's changed the political norms, that's for sure. Richo, thank you, my friend. I'll speak to you next week.
Okay, mate.